Well, this week I'm not at my own China desk, but sitting here at the desk of one of China's leading economists, Professor Xu Chenggang. Professor Xu, you've taught at Harvard, at the London School of Economics, at Hong Kong University, but at the moment you're a professor of economics at Beijing's Cheung Graduate School of Business. And today we're going to be talking about one of the elephants in the room when it comes to almost all stories about the Chinese economy, and that is China's levels of debt. Tell us first of all, how big a problem is it?
The debt GDP ratio could be as high as 280%. So then the debt level is going to be 25 roughly, or 28 trillion US dollars.
That's a huge amount of money owed by who to whom?
Mostly by the government. So when we talk about the government, here we have two major agencies. One is the government itself. The other is the state-owned enterprises.
How worried should we be? Everybody knows now, of course, that the financial crisis in the Western world was caused by bad debt. Could something similar happen here?
Indeed, there are some similarities. But when we look at China, we have a similar phenomenon, but not in the household sector, instead in the local government sector. A huge amount of loans are in the form of bank loans backed by land as collateral. So we have huge amount of local governments are in deep trouble. And the reason they are in deep trouble is exactly because the land market is in a very bad shape and their loans are backed up by the land.
So just like in the West, this is borrowing against assets that have suddenly started to fall in value, and that could lead to a sort of snowball effect.
Exactly.
Some people suggest, though, that the difference with China is that the lender and the spender is the same person, the government, and that therefore China can continue on this model indefinitely. Is that a sensible view?
That's partly correct, partly wrong. Partly correct in the sense that most of the banks are state-owned, and most of these bank loans are borrowed from state banks, and the borrowers are government, and the lenders are government. So even when things go wrong, they are more capable in dealing with a relatively moderate level of crisis.
But I can tell there's a but in there. What's the worst case scenario looking further ahead?
Exactly. So when things go really wrong, it could be a sudden collapse. In economics, we have a term to describe this kind of institutional problem. It's called soft budget constraint problem. It means that when a state entity is insolvent, unlike in a market economy, insolvent entities should go bankruptcy, but here they don't. So they are going to be bailed out, supported by the central authority. So on the surface, in the short run, looks like stable, but actually this is going to destabilize the whole system overall in the long run. So they don't allow for smaller crises. Then you accumulate a huge crisis in the future.